I never thought I'd see the day where I would be standing on this historic pavement in front of South Africa House here in London, where once again we will be fighting for the freedoms of our nation. I don't see myself as anybody important, such as a politician or celebrity that fights for human rights. I'm just a normal everyday person, just like all of you. If anything, I'm just a guy with a blog. But I realized something a while ago, that I have a voice and I can use it. And if I shout loud enough, make it available for the world to hear, more and more people will hear it. During a recent World Cup quarter-final, thousands of South Africans were left shouting at the TV. I was one of them. But I decided to take it a step beyond and share my thoughts with the world. And within 1 week I had the support of 84,000 people with similar views that made world headlines in the media and has since left a board of directors a bit nervous. How and why? Because all it needed was one person to carry a small idea against all odds. Some of my friends laughed at the idea, but that didn't hold me down. Because one thing I would like to share with you today is to never let your ideas be defeated by the pessimists. People will always try to discourage you. It's a fact of life. But use the words of discouragement as fuel for your own motivational fire to prove them all wrong. I'm sure you'll be quite surprised with the results. Also, don't be discouraged when your friends don't support you, because trust me, in the end, when you and those that do support you have made that small part of history that wish they had. Remember, I'm just a normal person, just like you. Every one of us has the power within us, ourselves, to get up and make a difference. So be empowered. Make yourself heard. Never be afraid. Never think you are too small to go up against the giants, and tell them just how you feel. Get up from moaning at the TV, and it never listens. And tell the world how you feel and fight for what you believe in. Every one of you has it in you. I'll read an old quote by an old English Irish statesman, Edmund Burke. It reads, "All that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good men and women to do nothing." Think about it. Things like social media allow anybody who can type to have a voice. This very process was sparked with the feelings I felt on Black Tuesday when the government voted in the Protection of Information Bill. The reason we are standing here today is a result of an idea of one very normal individual that was passed on to others and spread onwards. And once again, we are making headlines as we have done all week in South Africa.
Amen!
Getting our message out there. Tonight on SABC News, your families, friends, as well as the whole of South Africa will see that we South Africans in London we are not going to sit back and watch our freedoms of our nation be taken away from them. We will stand up, be counted, and say no to the secrecy bill. And with that, I'd like to announce that the campaign against the secrecy bill has now officially gone international. Of anti-apartheid protests against the apartheid government. For almost 2 decades, this pavement has not heard the cries of apartheid. But at this very moment, we make history once again by protesting against an element of apartheid, which is censorship. The covering up and censoring of information, just like the apartheid government did so many years ago. And it's happening again. The Protection of Information Bill, in its current form, allows any organ of state, meaning anything down to even municipality, has the power to classify information. This leaves it wide open to abuse of power and corruption. And given the reputation of corruption within our current government, this is almost a certainty. One example is it may spark a massive tenderpreneurship, where a government official secures tenders and contracts for all his mates. They all get rich due to the high costs of the contracts, leaving the public to fit the bill and leave other businesses out of business. You hear about things like this now when they get exposed, but if the secrecy bill is approved and made law, you won't hear about it anymore, because nobody will be able to expose the truth. All forms of corruption will increase to its highest level. Whistleblowers will be silenced with the threat of lengthy prison sentences up to 25 years, which is only 2 years short of how long Nelson Mandela spent in jail. It goes to say that if a government official is found guilty of corruption, he may spend a few years in jail, but the person who exposed the truth on the matter may spend twice as long, even though he did the public a favour by exposing it all. It is for reasons such as this that the Protection of Information Bill needs to be altered, and this is why we are standing here today, to fight for our rights and the nation's rights to freedom of information. The government will have free rein to censor any information that it pleases and withhold any information, well, just about anything. And we are saying no to that.
No to secrecy!
No to secrecy! No to secrecy! No to secrecy! No to secrecy! No to secrecy! No to secrecy! No to secrecy!
No to secrecy!
I was getting to that. We stand here proudly as proud South Africans. We stand here for the freedoms of our nation, and we are saying no to secrecy.
No to secrecy!
No to secrecy! No to secrecy! No to secrecy! No to secrecy!
No to secrecy! No to secrecy!
I'll take a line from our national anthem. It's the second to last line. We'll live and strive for freedom. The government should listen to that, because that's exactly what we're doing here today. Right, I've just got a statement which was released by Desmond Tutu, or Archbishop Desmond Tutu. It goes, a state is entitled to keep information outside the public domain in instances where publication may jeopardize state security. But if the legal mechanism created to protect the state security advertently or inadvertently prevents criminality from being exposed, the mechanism is patently flawed. The protection of state information is not only flawed, it is insulting to South Africans. To be asked to stomach legislation that could be used to outlaw whistleblowing and investigative journalism that contains no public benefit defence clause, and that makes the state answerable only to the state. This is not to suggest that those presently holding the reins of power intend to use the legislation to muzzle anyone or cover anything up. But equally, there are presently a sufficient number of investigations to credit the government into alleged corruption by members of this and previous governments to warrant treading with extra care. I appeal to MPs, please hear the disquiet this proposed piece of legislation has caused. Please hear the warnings of the academics, civil society leaders, labour representatives, media corps, and legal and constitutional experts. This law will do our people and our country a disservice. By voting for it today, members of the ruling party will be doing themselves and their party a grave disservice.
Yes.
Thank you very much.